In this video, we will show you how to replace your ignition coil on this Ford Ranger with a 2.3 liter engine. This will be located along the top of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Along the top of your engine is where you're going to find your ignition coil and your spark plug wires. Before you start pulling these off of here, it's important to know exactly where each one of them goes to on your engine. With that said, we're going to mark these wires so we can ensure that we put them back in the original position. To be able to tell exactly where they go is to just go ahead and follow the wire in the direction that it leads. If it leads all the way to the back, that's cylinder 4. If it leads all the way to the front, that's cylinder 1. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. With that said, we'll start marking these wires. The front passenger side corner is cylinder 4. Just make 4 markings on this. Continue on to the one behind that, that's cylinder 2. And then we'll just continue on to the forward one on the driver's side is cylinder 1. The one behind that is cylinder 3. Once you have each of those spark plug wires marked, we'll continue on to carefully taking hold of the spark plug wire, give it a little twist, and lift it straight up and off. After that, you can give it a close inspection. If you see any funny colors, that would be corrosion and it would need to be dealt with. This looks fine, let's continue on doing the same to all. Take those wires and set them aside. Now we can move to the inboard side. You're going to find your electrical connector. This does have a lock. Carefully reach underneath the electrical connector and squeeze it up. Once you've done so, you should be able to pull this out of place. I can see that metal lock moving as it should. Just give this a light tug. If it's stuck, you could gently pry it. A quick inspection for corrosion. Assuming that looks good, you can set the wiring harness aside. The next thing we'll do is continue on to removing our 4 T25 Torx screws that hold the ignition coil down to the valve cover. Inspect that mounting hardware, replace it as necessary. Take hold of the ignition coil and remove it from the vehicle. There it is, friend. With that out of place, the next thing you'll want to do is clean and inspect the mounting point. Okay, let's get ready to install our brand new ignition coil. Make sure you have it in the proper orientation. We'll take this and put it in place, start in all 4 of your mounting bolts, and then you can snug them up. Torque each of those to 53 inch-pounds. With that torqued, we'll move along to the electrical connector. Go ahead and take this and press it into position. Listen for a click, give it a tug to make sure it's completely secured. It should be able to move around but not slide completely out of position. Now it's time to reinstall our spark plug wires. Before you install them, it's important to make sure that you use a tiny bit of dielectric grease on the inboard side that slides over the ignition coil. Now as we do this, we'll make sure that we're not crossing the wires too many times. Double check our markings. I've got my marking for cylinder 4 here. That's the front passenger side. Cylinder 2 here. Take this one. Cylinder 1. Cylinder 3. Double check to make sure each one of your wires is completely seated. You do not want one falling off, otherwise you might potentially have a running condition. Okay friend, we've got our vehicle back together. At this point, you can continue on to starting up your vehicle. Let it run. Make sure you don't have a check engine light and no running condition, and then take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.